Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today I was gonna make my own square foot garden bed, and I started working on this. And I figured, what the heck, I'll make a video of this, show you guys how I'm doing it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of doing it. Um, so, show you the wood I got there. So these three are all the same, and there's one more of these planks underneath the. It's a 2x4s over there. Or no, I'm sorry, one 2x4. Underneath it's one more of those planks. And what these are is they started out by 2x8s, so 2 inches by 8 inches. By the way, if you're new to woodworking, I have no idea why they measure stuff the way they do. But there's no, if you get a 2x4, it's not 2 inches by 4 inches. If you get a 2x8 like I did, it's not 2 inches by 8 inches. Even the lengths are sometimes off, and it's by design. And anyway, so just be realizing if I say this is 2x8, that's what it's marketed as, but if you measured it, it's like the 8 size is really 7.5 or something like that. Anyhow, I'll show you that in just a second. So what I did there is I got some 2x4s and I cut those, and you can see how I got that one clamped on there. You don't have to clamp it. I have clamps, so I decided to use them. And I'll show you how I square this up. Hopefully this will show up, because I don't have a cameraman, so I can't see what I'm doing here. Hold on. So what I did there is just take this, and as you see, I put it against the side there, and that's what I do to kind of square it up on the end there. And then in this case I put a clamp down. Let's see. Oh, the 2x8s. When I was at I got those at Home Depot, and when I bought them, I just asked them to cut them in half for me. And when you ask them, I always have trouble. Every time I ask somebody to cut something in half for me, they always, it's never in half. So you want to double check it. In this case I did, and actually it's not always their fault, because this is sold as a 2x8 by 8 feet, and so if you say cut it in half and it's an 8-footer, the guy will cut it at 4 foot thinking he just cut it in half. But like I said, none of the measurements are really the way they are, so it's better check it. So it's not the length of it's not important. It's just you need consistency. So if you're going to cut a extra ½ inch on every end, you just got to be consistent to whatever length you come up with. Anyways, all that mumbling there. Basically, if you have the guy cut it in half, you need to double check it. And if they're not both the same length, give it back to the guy and ask him to trim them. Tell him you're making a square box, and then they'll be sympathetic and cut the boards equal lengths for you. So don't just go in there saying cut it in half, because it probably won't come out in half. Anyhow, so that's what I did on these. My 2x8s by 8 feet, I bought 2 of those, and I cut them in half. And then I ran out of scrap 2x4, so I bought, they only had a 2x4 by 8, and it was only like $2.48. It was a pretty nice one. And another example there is, they're like some kind of weird 95 inches or something, I can't remember, but they're not 8 feet long. They're set up for contracting, so they don't have to cut off an end or add an end or something, like I was explaining to me, but they're not 8 feet long. Again, just because they say they're 8 feet, they're not 8 feet. They're stud length, whatever the heck that means. But they're so inexpensive, I just picked up one and I cut it in half so I could fit it in my car. And then I cut these blocks off of it with a handsaw. And I'm horrible at cutting, so I use a miter box. Let me show you my miter box. Swing over here. That's what a miter box is right there. It's just a little plastic box. You pick them up for a couple bucks. And I couldn't find my miter saw, so I just used a regular crosscut saw in there. Anyhow, and so I'm going to pause it, and I want to show you something else I got for this project. Okay, here's the other tools I'm using. Is I got myself a drill, and the screws for these are a little bit expensive. They're like, I don't know, $6 and some change, or $7 or something like that. But these, you can look at the packaging there. They have a T25, T25 star bit end, and that's kind of cool. So hopefully it won't strip out. Also, it's got these other features where that's supposedly on the shank there, on the back of the screw before you get to the head. Suppose it's got those weird diagonal slices that help it not split the wood, and suppose it makes it easier for getting in and out of the wood. And then also, you know, it's got regular threads that's going to do your biting. And then it's got a groove on see the groove on the, see if anyways, there's a groove right there on the tip. See, it runs up the side of the screw there. And that groove supposedly means you don't have to do a pilot hole. I always usually do pilot holes, but they say you don't have to with this. And so here's it's upside down T25 bits that I'm going to use on my drill there. And I have one of these, so I'm going to use it. So instead of doing a pilot hole, I'm just going to do this. This is a punch. You don't need one of these. I just happen to have one, so I'm going to probably use it. What the idea is I'll go here. I'll show you. I'll do it one real quick here. I'll zoom out. I'm going to punch that real quick, show you. And all that did is, see if it'll show up on camera here, just puts a little divot right there in the wood, so that'll keep your bit from wandering. So you don't need that. I like it because I'm horrible when it comes to woodworking. So every little advantage I can, like the miter box, and keep me cutting wood straight, and those divots will keep my drill bit from wandering. So what I'm going to do is put two pieces of wood in, or two screws in there. Hold on, I'll get that set up and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so they actually gave me a drill bit, so I didn't have to buy those two, but I got them. Because I got, the way my drill's set up is I have an extension to begin with. And I bought those other ones. If I weren't to use this extension, the longer ones that I bought would be good. And they weren't that expensive, like $4 for two of them. And so I got some spares if these ever strip out. But I already drilled this one in and put it flush right there. And I set my drill, I kind of played with the settings while I was off camera and got it to 5, and 5 seems to be good. So I'll show you, put one in here. It's probably boring watching me do this, but I'll put one in here for you so you can see how it works. That's it. I'm really liking it. The tips of these are really good. It's not slipping. I have a hard time. I noticed, you know, when you use like a regular Phillips screw, it tends to slip out. So, anyways, all I'm going to do is I'll do this on 2 of the boards. So, and I'll do this on both ends. So I'll show you what it looks like when I get done here. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other end. And I might not use a clamp because it went pretty easy, but we'll see. Alright, that went really well. I just started, those screws are super good. I'm really pleased with these. Let's see. Yeah, they're super sharp. I like them. Didn't have any strip out. And I just started putting them in by hand. This is like soft pine, so it's really easy. I could just push the tip in there nice and sharp, and they'd stand up on their own, so I didn't even use my punch anymore. Only thing I did is I upped the setting on my drill, almost like doubled it, and that was to make sure. Here's a good, see if it shows up here. Can't really see, but I just sunk it in just a little bit below the surface, because I'm doing these on the inside. Most people, when they build these things, they go from the outside in, and I was like, well, I'm kind of lazy. I'll do it from the inside out, because the screws don't stick out of the other side. They're only 2.5 inch long screws. I'll put the dimensions to this stuff. I don't think I mentioned this. These are a little bit bigger than I usually use. I usually use a number 8. These are a 9 by 2.5. So, and 2.5's is not long enough to go through 2 2x4s, and again, they're not 2x4s. I don't know why they call them that. So now I'm just gonna set these up, and I'm just gonna do the job, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it done here, because it's kind of weird to explain. One thing I'm doing in my backyard here is kind of looking around, And like by the tree, see how it's kind of not too much growth growing there, a little bit there. So you can kind of tell if you don't cut your grass, like I don't, where the good sunshine is going to be. So this spot looks really good, so I'm going to put it right over there because I think that gets a lot of light because the grass is growing so well over there. So that's my theory. And so this stuff is heavy too, so you kind of want to don't build it like way across the other side of your house and try to carry it over. It's not going to work out too good. Try to build it in place. So I will get working on that, and I'll pick it up in just a minute. All right. So what I did is went around and freehanded those. The corners came out pretty good. The wood's kind of super soft. It's cheap. So I didn't like pull it in though like I thought I was gonna, but it doesn't really matter. Don't worry, my screw's not, it's in the 2x4. It's not as centered as it probably should be. I didn't really measure anything out. I just eyeballed it and zoomed them in. And don't worry about it too much. I got myself a little mallet and tapped it around a little bit. It really didn't help out any, so you don't really need that mallet. One thing, you know, you're putting on dirt and the ground's not even, so it doesn't really matter. But what I'd do is I'll show you is I'd like line this up and then just put my knee on this one so I could control this one going up and down, and that's how I got them flush. You know, I could have got all fancy with them, but I just did it really quick. It just took me a couple seconds on each one, zoom around, put those in. So anyways, so I'm pretty much done. Here, I'll just show you my receipts there. Hopefully this shows up. Probably won't show up very good. A lot of auto-focusing going on there. I'll just put this in the remarks below. But, so the studs, which is the 2x4s, they were $2.18. I bought a square, so you don't really need that. I just couldn't find mine, so I saw one there and picked it up. Actually, that looks like too much for it. What is it? Oh, no, I'm sorry. The second thing is, oh, okay. What is it? Oh, the 2x8s, for two of them, apparently, it was $9.14. My square was only $3.97. You don't need that. My package of bits is kind of ironic. It costs the same as a square. And if you buy the bolts the correct kind, they'll throw in a bit for you, so you could scratch that off. My box of 9x2.5, 100 screws were $8. Arm scars. Nope, I'm sorry. The screws were $7.92. My wife wanted me to pick up some toilet paper was there, so 24 rolls of toilet paper cost $8.97. So the most expensive thing was my my 2x8s by 8s, and I bought two of those, and they were $9.14. To put it in perspective, the toilet paper, which is going to be literally money flushed down the toilet, was $8.97 for 24 rolls. So all in all, with all that extra stuff I bought, it was only $36. And I was looking at the some of the stuff, like if you bought little cheese ball ones, I don't know why I call it that. Bought the ones that are pre-made. Granted, they probably made out of cedar or something. But man, those things were like starting at $50 and stuff. And there you saw, I got extra tools and things I didn't need, and some toilet paper and stuff, and it's still under $40 to build it yourself. And trying to think if I have any other recommendations. Anyways, maybe I'll show you as I get going on this project. But there's my first square foot garden there. I'm gonna fill it up with some vegetation type compost. Probably not gonna use any dirt in it. It's just all gonna be what I wish I had is worm castings, but I don't have those. But we'll see. Anyway, so there you go. You can build a square foot garden there pretty inexpensively in a couple hours there. And unless you're organized and have all your tools where you can find them. I spent more time. Probably the longest part of this is I had to cut the 2x4s by hand, and that takes time because I'm out of shape and my saw is probably not the sharpest in the world. But anyways, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up there, and if you subscribe, you'll see more videos as they come out. Thank you for watching.